Hello, we are live for F4 after what could only be described as the most insane finish I have ever seen in a race there in F5. Sorry, we're live in F4. What did we just see in F5? If you were not tuning in, just to give you a recap, I DNF'd in lap 1 with Ringsrud from an incident that is contentious. Excuse me. A bit of chaos ensued in between, with Daniel Nee almost winning the race, then disconnecting 2 times. A safety car comes out. The rain starts. Suchal is the first person to pit for inters. And then he wins the race by like 10 seconds. It's possibly the strangest finish I've ever seen since actually I did it in Monza like 3 seasons ago. Anyway, just a bit shocked by that. Amazing stuff. Right, F4, 7 minutes to go in the Las Vegas circuit, around the also known as the Caesars Palace circuit. Back in 1982, that's what it was last called. As we see Giselle Barrel doing a 17-point turn, damaging his wing as well on the track at the exit of turn 16, which is the penultimate corner here, as the little click to the left at the start finish line, timing line, is turn 17. Apotopol currently in provisional P1, the championship leader. Where is my good boy T-Rex? There he is. And most drivers coming in just before they start their last flying laps of this race. Chris Pass, the other Haas driver in this tier, not on a flyer by the looks of it. As Lugotze, the returning Minister of Chaos from last season's F3, is already complaining in the Discord chat about conditions he is having to suffer with. Good to see you back, Luis. I mean, if you think everyone's slow in this tier, you should be winning this race, even if you're starting from P19. Full grid today in F4 with only one sub from F5, which is Sir Quackalop, and 19 drivers, all from this tier. Great stuff, lads. As there's already been a report, and that is Lugot's reporting Vister. But we will continue on. Everyone's very happy for Suchal, by the way, who won the race. I'm very happy for him too. As Elliot Parker got P4 and was very close to the podium. Anyway, we're going to focus here on T-Rex. The one, the only Ronan Clark, currently trailing Apo, as Sparrow Maltby has joined us, and they will be in the not the qualifying booth. They will be in the, what's this called? The party? Commentary booth. Qualifying booth? And as Milos has been disqualified from the session for blocking the pit lane, I'm not entirely sure what happened there. Maybe that's something similar to what happened to me. As it appears to be, who was that now? No, it was the other Williams. As ERO True Streamer Boy goes P2. Ah, yes, the angry Danish driver. As we are joined by Sparrow. What an end to... Oh, and they've left.
And I've left. Absolute scenes. Let's go.
I know, yeah. Grand opening, grand closing.
Yes, indeed.
What an ending to F5.
It was indeed. It was a very disappointing start for you, though.
Yeah, I spoke to Jean about it, and he's putting the blame on me. I don't think the blame is on me, but look, it is what it is. I'm a bit emotional about the moment, so like I obviously can't give a very unbiased opinion.
Yes.
I understand that, but
I saw it and I was like, yeah, there was like, yeah, I'm not sure what to say about it. It was just
well,
interesting.
do you know the thing is, Jack and myself have had 5 races now where space hasn't been given, or 4 races before this, where space hasn't been given, been ran off the track, been hit behind under safety car conditions, as far as rejoin the session, and I think this was kind of coming. Like I think this was building up for a while, from what I can understand. Canada, like if you saw Jack stream, Canada was not. He wasn't happy.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, if you even heard him, he wasn't happy. And this has just been.
I saw that via commentary.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just been building up for a while. And I think this is just. Yeah, these things happen.
What's in 13th? Go on, mate.
Harry having a strong qualifying session here, considering 4 drivers have been DSQ'd or just lost their car. But yeah, I don't know. I wasn't very happy with Ringsford there. Because were you riding on board with me or him, or did you just see it from a spectator view?
I was looking at it from the helicam, so...
Yeah. Okay.
Quackalots is on his lap, going into turn 5.
We will ride on board with Mr. Harry Brown. Coming through the blind corners of turns 7 and 8, also known as the sphere chicane, now into turn 9, where you can drop the car into second gear to get extra rotation if needed be. Coming up to the little kink is turn 10, where I DNF'd this evening.
Go on!
I'll put him at the moment P12. Now into one of the more tricky chicanes.
I know so many of these guys just from racing in them against them in F3.
Yeah. Well, this is essentially F3 from last season.
I got Fifcio, Aspect, Junaid, Ronson, Chris Pat, T-Rex, and Mr. Bean. I'm still keeping track with it. Oh, Harry makes contact with the wall.
Yeah, it wasn't a great exit at 16. You need to cut that corner as much as possible.
Goes P11 though, go on.
Further up the field, the other Alfa Romeo, Geeson Barrel, nearly 6/10 up on his time as he is on the drag race, the 2 kilometre straight down to turn 14. Where will we finish as qualifying is done? As it stands, Apotolpo is P1, and what can Geeson Barrel do? He decides to not cut the corner either, and he has a big wobble there, and that's going to be his qualifying done. On to Lex Hodby goes, 2/10 up on his time, but that's nowhere near close enough for P1.
Across the line goes P2 by 2
Wow,
tenths.
and that major shake, that's costing P1 there. As we ride on board with Lex Hod, wasn't able to race last week due to time constraint, as Arthur Monche says he would have had pole. That is correct, Ethan. Hard luck for you, sir. Anyway, Lex, 2,000ths of a second up, not a whole lot.
John H goes P8, Wrongson round the final corner, goes P6.
That's a good result from Matthew.
And Bios invalidates.
I think he's just gone to the pits, is he? Yeah, he's just gone to the pits.
Postman Pat nearly loses the rear end through turn 16.
What can he do? His time at the moment is good enough for about P6, P5, somewhere in that ballpark, and he does go P5. And it's really confusing me. Every week it's the same thing with him. I don't actually know what he's doing. So,
anyway, so it's qualifying over and done with in F4. We have Apo topping it by 2/10, followed by an Alfa Romeo driver who I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name of.
Geeson Barrel.
Ethan there or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the Williams of. I don't know any of these guys. It's my
1
first time
second.
commentating F4.
I got his name. It's Mr. Joel Harris, true streamer boy.
Joel Harris.
So the two Mercedes are a bit far away from the two Red Bulls. And Lugotso was saying the Mercedes and Red Bulls will be fighting this race. Interestingly to note here, Junaid Yassin has been outqualified by his teammate.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my days. Oh my days. Anyway, just to give a final qualification. Sorry to crash you there, Sparrow.
It's fine, mate.
Yeah, we have Apple Tubble at P1, Geeson Burrell, Oxford, Monche in P2, Joe Harris P3, Ronan Clark in P4, Chris the Postman Pat P5, Lex Hodden P6, Matthew Wrongson in P7, Toby Fennell quietly in P8 there, Callum Monkton P9, and Junaid Yassin are at the top 10. Joel Clark, or Joel Corey as I call him, in P11, Sir Quackalot, Enduro, Alex Theodore, Philip Kazowski, and Bjorn Rasmussen ran out. The rest of our drivers actually set a time, with Vister Lugotza getting involved in a collision, Jammies, I don't know what happened to him, and Milos getting unfortunately disqualified.
Well, that's the end of qualifying. I'm hoping for a similar excursion in the race as we saw in F5.
But it looks dry here.
It is dry. If we see rain at the end of the race, like we did in F5, then that'll be amazing.
But like, what happened? It went just to full wets, basically, did it?
It did, yes. In like 4 laps, which is insane.
Well, in the middle of the desert.
Exactly. As we now wait for the lights to start.
As drivers are just finishing off their strategies and stuff. No one's actually ready up yet, but it looks like it. But the only winner this year, or in this race, was Max Verstappen last year. Very contentious race where he ran poor innocent Charles Leclerc off the track. Got a 5-second penalty and still won the race.
Yeah.
With Charles, if I remember straight, overtaking Sergio Perez on the last lap. So, just waiting here, watching the paint dry on the track. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights on this curved start. And it is lights out and away we go. And some people have gotten a drive-through penalty there, and multiple drivers have gotten a drive-through penalty there. Interesting start. Apple seems to have kept the lead though at the initial start here, but Geese and Barrel dropping down places along with Aspect and T-Rex. And there's a yellow flag already on the track as there seems to be a stoppage of...
Yes, there's Bios and
Toby
the
Fennell.
Alpha Tauri of...
Toby Fennell, yeah.
Yep, that person. As Quackalot is in P10 diving down the inside on GP. Or JP, I should say.
Joe Corey, as we call him up here. Disastrous start for the McLaren and the AlphaTauri.
Goes past both of them.
Oh my.
Tied a bit of contact between Junaid and Aspect, I think, as Wrongson is in P5. Oof.
And Enduro's in toss with a 3-second time penalty for corner correcting. So plenty of drivers already with penalties here. A total of 4 drivers with a drive-through. Interesting enough, as Lugotza goes around Alex Theodore for the move, gets it done before turns 14 and 16. Oh my.
Quackalot, I think, went round the outside of Enduro. If he did, then go on, lad.
As Alex Theodore and Lugotza have a big moment there on the exit of 12, I think it is. Big moment there. Chris Pat and Geese and Barrel. Yeah.
And Ronston goes right into the rear.
Oh my god. Matthew almost hitting the wall there on the exit of 16. Oh my.
And Ronson goes into the pits.
With a absolutely horrible pit entry there. We're just riding on board with that. Oh my god. He's gonna change his front wing.
Is up into P8. Go on, lad.
As Redemption gets a 5-second time penalty as well for speeding.
And he goes down the inside on Aspect, who goes wide. Tiny bit of contact between the two of them. And Quackalot holds onto the position nearly.
This is
He
absolute
does.
chaos.
B7. As T-Rex gets past Gason, there is a tiny bit of contact between Aspect and Quackalot. Aspect with a switchback. Trying to go round the outside into sending it chicane. As Gason Bear gets a tiny bit of oversteer. Contact between the two drivers. Even more contact as Joel Curry gets past now, nearly. How is Quackalot doing this?
This is a new Harry Brown. He's used all his battery up though, and the drivers around him have not. And we are
as Joel Harris has got no ERS left whatsoever. This could be interesting.
And a Callum, Harry Brown's dropped down 2 positions. Oh god. The Williams, the Alfa Romeo, and the Alpine all battling into the penultimate corners here of this Las Vegas circuit. Apotopo sets the fastest lap, immediately seeded by Joel Harris now with a 1:35.5. DRS enabled, and Apo needs to drop Joel if he's any chance to build a gap here.
Down the inside, backs out of it.
Large deltas beginning to form here.
Junaid getting a switchback nearly on Gason Burr. As Quackalot is nearly going side by side with Joel into turn 5. Joel goes wide, nearly goes in towards Vista, retires in T1.
Did he retire on track or did he lose the car? It's not a safety car.
I think he lost the car. No, I think he retired in the pits. Oh, that was an angry Danish driver has lost the rear end at turn 2, I think, or turn 4. I don't know. Either one.
I don't know with this guy. I think he's completed about 10 laps all season. I'm not being smart there. But like,
Aspect gets a shocking run out of going onto the long straight as Joel Harris takes the lead of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Blooming heck, Junaid with 2 moves.
Yeah, that was great, wasn't it? The double slipstream there really helping him as Lex Hoddle and Milos are fighting further down the field.
Here goes Apo is really close to Joel Harris.
Now just have a look at the drivers on their tyre compounds. We have the rainbow of the slick tyres available here with Geeson Barrel and Timbo and Efficio being the drivers on the hards, with angry Danish driver Harry Brown and Callum Ogden all on the softs, everybody else on the mediums.
Oh, here comes Apo, trying to go round the outside into whatever you called it, chicane.
The sphere, because the sphere is on the left hand side.
Safety car out for the Aston Martin.
As Jammies is gone now. And that's going to bring a halt to proceedings here.
As I think he retired by making contact with the barrier. Disappointing end to his race there, as both Astons are out of the Las Vegas Grand Prix.
And that will bring a pause to the proceedings here. I'm assuming no one really pits unless they've got damage.
Yeah.
So, did you see my POV of the incident? I'll send it to you here.
I didn't really, but
no, I'll send it to you here. Check your Discord. I had an unfortunate. I actually missed my braking point in the turn before at the start of the sphere chicane, and I almost went to the back of Ollie Boy, which was my apologies for that. I just missed the braking point altogether. That's a very hard turn to.
That's a very interesting pit entry.
Pit entry,
for John
yeah.
Harris.
A lot of drivers having interesting pit entries here this evening.
I saw the fact that he made a tiny bit of contact with the inside wall.
That's your 3 drivers diving into the pits. 4 drivers now. Geeson Barrel, interestingly, diving into the pits. Does he know something we do not? As he will go onto the medium compound tires, I assume. And there's going to be double stacking here. Now, Joel onto the softs. Milos on the mediums. Junaid, Chris Pat, and Apple.
Harry's got a new front wing.
Hmm.
I think it's unfortunate incident, I would say, your incident.
Yeah. I mean...
I think that the fact that Ringsrud put his nose in was just... I don't know.
Like, speak your mind. I don't really care if you think I'm at fault or not, you know what I mean? I'm happy to hear your opinion. Do you know?
From your POV, it looks like you turned in a tiny bit just before. Yeah. I'm not someone that can make good decisions on instances as I got a warning for an instance that I made.
I've seen that actually in the F3 reports.
Yep, that was part 1 against Ozan.
Well, less said the better. As Ronan says to Matthew, thanks, with some starry eyes in the Discord service. Obviously, those two have been jousting along as Ronan goes onto the hard compound tires, and he's going to try and bring those to the end, one would assume, or until the next safety car period. A lot of gambling here on the Vegas circuit because it's a question of when, not if, the safety car will come out.
Yeah.
As Junaid very close to the back of Chris Pat there under safety car conditions. He has eased off a bit now.
I think the most blooming heck, I can't speak after F5. After F5, I'm just lost for words. Anyways, I think if you're predicting an early safety car, then softs are the option.
Yeah.
But I would definitely just stick it out on mediums, just to...
Well, the mediums can go about what? Chris Pat was very close to that.
The mediums can go for like 15 odd laps, maybe longer.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they're not going to be happy about it. They're going to be screaming afterwards, as we're just waiting for...
Yeah.
How is Angry Danish Driver 30 seconds off the pace? Oh, he's pitted, okay. No, he hasn't pitted.
I don't know.
We're riding on board with Bjorn Ramison now to see what exactly is going on here. And he's just
lost it.
What?
And he's just retired on track.
He's retired on track. Right in front of our eyes.
Yep. As Wrongson says, welcome to the courtroom. His name's Matthew Sugar. What?
I don't know, less said about that, the better.
I have no clue what's going on anymore.
He's done less than 20 laps all season.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I would also just like to point out, Ross Silver started dead last.
Milos does a lot of real life racing though. He does a lot of 24-hour races in real life. A lot of biking as well. Yeah, Milos is a cool guy.
As we now have the safety car restart happening.
As Junaid gets a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Chris Pratt, that's going to be interesting to see what happens. As Appo's gone, and he hasn't really caught anyone napping here, and as further down the field, Aspect has been caught. I think Aspect's been spun. Callum Ogden's in the pit, sorry. As Jammies has now left the session, picked a weird time to do that at the safety car restart. It's going to cost a lot of desig. Joel passed Milos for P4 at the moment. Enduro Zintos passed Matthew for P11. Now up to P9, getting past his teammate in the McLaren.
Oh, this is a really good fight.
As we could potentially be going 3 wide here. Matthew arriving on the scene.
Harry.
And here comes Harry Brown as well. There's a bit of contact between the two McLarens. There's a bit of more contact between one of the McLarens and Harry Brown. Here comes Matthew on the outside of the entry into the sphere chicane. Blind turn here as Bjorn Ramson's left the session. That's going to cause a bit of desync, but hopefully no one is affected too much. Toby Fennell now sticking his fingers. Oh, and there's Matthew's gone!
He's gone. He got spun round. Don't go backwards on the track too far, mate. You'll get disqualified. As Geese on Bears lost it as well.
This is absolute chaos here.
Total chaos on the safety car, on the lap of restart. What? A tiny bit of contact between T-Rex and Joel Corey. And here comes the Williams on the Mercedes, and through goes Enduro.
And Enduro's in, so we're going to ride on board with him as he's got a great view of this battle here as we go to turn 15 and 16. Harry goes down
the inside on his teammate's into the barrier. Virtual safety car.
And it's just gone all wrong for Geese and Barrel. Unfortunately for him.
As this is my favourite thing to see. A Haas 1-2. As I'm a Haas fanboy.
Wow.
I love Haas. But I just can't perform IRL.
Yeah, well, they just haven't got the car today. As Geese and Barrel gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Law drivers getting pit lane entry penalties here. Didn't read the race briefing by the looks of it as he is changing his front wing. Junaid and Matthew both changing their front wings as well by the looks of it and getting caught on the double stack. No. Callum Ogden up to 14th as we are back racing, and Apo and Chris Pratt have just caught the rest of the
gone. He's gone deep.
Where is Harry Brown gone now?
What's it? Don't get rear wing damage.
What's he doing? 17-point turn by Harry Brown. Anyway, riding back up to the front where Chris Pratt is closing in on Apo Topo, his Haas teammate. Neither of these drivers have pitted, so a double stack is a potential here. Unfortunately.
Oh, Enduro goes into the wall trying to avoid Rosilver. And T-Rex gets past by us. Enduro now gets past Rosilver. Here comes Alex
and Toby.
The Alpha Tauri. Side by side between Lex and Ron at T-Rex as there's
another yellow
spun Merc.
As Milos has been spun and he's doing a 17-point turn as well. DRS is now enabled. No safety car now on the track.
Goes past Lex.
That seems to be making a big charge of the field here.
Past T-Rex down the inside as well.
And this is very close here. Side by side into turn 2 they go. Now, have they all? I think they've all got DRS, so this is just a straight up drag race. Yeah, Enduro Zintov's the only one without DRS, but he's okay for now. The AlphaTauri, but oh my, the AlphaTauri behind almost making contact with Lugotza. Well, Lugotza almost making contact with the AlphaTauri, but anyway. As T-Rex gets past Enduro Zintos into the sphere chicane we go, which is... This is crazy.
It's gonna be close. Tiny bit of contact. Alex has retired. Safety car.
So it looks like another victim has been claimed.
Goodness.
As Toby Fennell's gotten a 5-second penalty for making contact with a car that's DNF'd.
Yeah, I think I saw that and I was like, oh my goodness. What? I saw Toby just next to the Ferrari doing something, I don't know what. As there's a load of log spikes for people leaving the session. As we have safety car numero dos here in Vegas. Junaid gets Aspect, looks like he stopped on track. No, Junaid lets... okay, As Haas are double stacking.
Oh, this is going to be terrible for Chris Pratt here. He might get lucky
Got
and
it
just catch
pull
the
off,
end of
though.
it. He
It's
just about catches the end
basically
of it.
pulled off.
It's okay now.
Oh,
As Vister has left the session, only now, thank you for leaving under safety car conditions. So interestingly enough now, Lugotto up to P2. He didn't pit there, maybe when he should have. Maybe predicting further chaos to occur. Appo and Chris maintaining their positions with the newer tyres. As we've seen nearly every other driver diving into the pits apart from Harry Brown. As Ronan Clark says, stupid moves into these corners. Tone it down, lads. As Sir Quackalock gets a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. And I don't know what's happening in this race. It just seems like nobody can drive at the moment. What is Harry doing here? He's almost lost the car there. I don't know, what is that, turn 11 and turn 12? But very strange. As Joel Corey has gone now P1 for the moment on his 5-lap all hards with Lugotto behind, and Lugotto's going to be quite slow compared to the drivers behind him of Appo and Chris Pratt. And as a result of that, he's going to give Joel actually a chance to pull away here, from what I can understand.
oh, Vasilva went off.
You mean what's went off? Yeah.
Corner going onto the long straight.
As there is calls for a certain Alpine to be removed for stopping on track. We won't name names, but they have DNF'd.
Oh, yes. I wonder who.
That's said, easier mended. As Matthew and Lugotto are about to start fighting as well on the Discord server. This is what we've all came to see. Luis and Matthew butting heads yet again. Different seasons, same characters, same tier. As Geeson Burrell has retired from the session now. What has happened there? He looks like he's lost at the exit of turn 2.
I think he has, yeah.
Or is it turn 3? Oh yeah, because turn 3 and 4 are little kinks, aren't they? It looks like he's lost it in turn 3 or 4 there. Geeson Burrow won the championship contenders. Also now out of this race. What is going on in this? ERO should not be racing in Vegas ever again. I don't think we can be trusted to race here again.
This is the first and only time we see ERO in Vegas.
I mean, like, you know, we wanted to do something different this season with a bit of chaos and everything, but this is... I think we've asked too much of the drivers, to be honest.
You say this is the chaotic season.
This is the season of chaos.
Vegas, Monaco, and Singapore all on the same calendar.
As Lugotto makes contact with the back of Joel Corey's car there, Mercedes making contact with the back of Williams. Yeah, and then he also had Canada. Canada was not the...
Canada F3 was total chaos.
So was
Only
F4 and
7
F5.
finished.
I see, yeah, with Joe Hamster's coming in for
somehow I was one of them. And somehow my own teammate finished in front of me after he disconnected.
I don't know.
Which I find ridiculous.
Did you know what's always a chaotic, as a safety car will be in this lap here? As you know what I always find a chaotic race is Brazil.
Yes.
Brazil is always a chaotic race.
Brazil last season in F3.
Yeah, always a chaotic race. And Brazil will be one of our special events, the last special event of the season. I think it's around 11 or 10.
Reverse championship order.
Yeah, reverse grid sprint race and then championship from the championship order. Similar to what we did in F4 and F3. And Joel is gone. And he's dropped Luis by nearly half a second. Apo Topo already passed Philip Kieslowski, and them two are going to be fighting side by side, but Philip managed to keep the position to turn 3.
And he goes completely wide. Through goes to both Haas drivers. And Joel Harris.
And this could be dangerous here on the run down to turn 5. As here comes the William, but he's had to slow down because he's just been blocked basically by the Haas and the Mercedes in front of him. And there is another safety car.
And Quackalot's retired. No.
And that's going to end Harry Brown's day, unfortunately for them. So 3 safety cars so far. Unfortunately now though, for the drivers that haven't pitted yet, it's going to be disastrous as there's a bit of sliding going on here from Joel Harris. I'm not sure what's going on there. I just realised there's 2 Joels in the Williamses.
Oh, that's fun. Oh, it's just like last season in F3 with Rafael Medeiros and Rafael Reus.
Yeah.
And I called that team Rafael Racing. And it's in the exact same car as well.
That's what I'm saying, both in the Williams, yeah.
What is going on with people who share the same names? Get Harry Brown and Harry Nunce in the same car.
Harry Brown and Harry Nunce.
Yep.
Harry Nunce.
Completely different levels.
So speaking of Harry Nunce, he has left the session. Poor Harry Nunce. That's his new name now. So Apo's actually gotten away quite easily here because now, well, I suppose Lugos is pitted, which is going to drop him rapidly down the standings. Probably into last place. No, because Matthew has decided to pit again as well. I think if you finish this race, you're going to get points.
I have no clue what's going on anymore. Absolute big dub. Now we have the silent period of commentary as we just wait.
Well, there's nothing really to talk about. There's 3 safety cars so far. We've had 6 DNFers, so an average 2 DNFs per safety car. And yeah, I think Gisa Burr lost his car under safety car.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And I'm just contemplating the F3 grid, if I'll be honest with you.
I'm contemplating my life after Hungary. Well, not after Hungary, sorry, after this race, because I'm still annoyed. Well, as T-Rex has said, the McLarens need to learn how to use their brakes and stop the stupid dives. Well, Ronan, you are ahead of them for now, so we have every faith in you that you will push on. As we expect the safety car to be in this lap, Matthew talking shite saying, "Where's my social distancing?" to Harry, as if it is still 2019.
As we are still under safety car. Great.
I'm tired. It's been a long week.
It has indeed.
Matthew and Fitchio are, well, Fitchio's just pitting, as we will have one more lap of the safety car, and I like that from Fitchio. It's quite clever. Even if he wasn't changing his wing, I don't mind that because he'll catch it before the end of the lap and have the freshest set of tyres, which he will take to the end of the race. All strategy's been neutralised here. If you're Joe Curry in front, though, you probably aren't the happiest person at the moment with those 9-lap-old hards.
Yeah.
But say la vie, that's life. You just got to get on with the situation. Hope to finish in the podium. as we see that the Haas duo, the finishing Greek Haas duo of Apo Topo and Chris Pat, looking to make this a Haas 1-2 today. Something you'd never see in real life.
Exactly.
At the top four is 2 Haas's and 2 Williams.
Imagine seeing this in real life. I don't know for Tauri in P5. And an Alpine in the points. As the 2 Mercedes are swapping places. I'm raising questions. Why?
Well,
as 5th CO was caught up.
Yeah, I would. It's a long lap around here. It's a minute and a half, and like this straight, that last straight's 2 kilometers. This straight here is 2 kilometers, so you would catch up.
Yeah, you would.
Now we're probably going to see.
Slowest experience ever.
This is like watching paint dry.
Yep.
So they're doing in fairness, the Aston Martin safety car is doing, the AMG is doing 260 kilometers an hour, if not more. So it's not like it's going exactly slow by any means, as the safety car will finally be in this lap. And we will have 10 laps of racing to the end here.
Finally some racing.
With Joel slowing down already and Apo very close to the back of his diffuser here. I'm watching the Braun GP documentary on Disney Plus at the moment. I don't know if you've seen it. But it's well worth a watch. As Joel has already gone well before just about the safety car got into the pit lane. He's not really caught Apo sleeping though. Less than 4 tenths separates them. Chris Pat has been kind of dropped, those 6 tenths separating them. As Enduro Zintos and Ronan Clark again are fighting. But Enduro's lost the place to his teammate and Ronan, and Junaid Yassin now arriving on the scene for P7, going side by side around turns 3 and 4. Enduro keeping the position though. But hold on.
Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean further up the field. We're still on board with Enduro and Junaid as they go side by side at turn 5. No contact. Well, there was no contact up to that point. A bit of wheel banging. Junaid now managing to keep the position up to P7. He goes. Great stuff from him as they go into the severe chicane. Apo Topo now, as you said, up to P1. And again, we still have a Haas and Williams sandwich up the top.
Joel Harris is getting quite close to the diffuser of Chris Pat, but is now falling back into the clutches of a T-Rex.
I like that, that's good actually. Ronan has to get his arse in gear and catch up with True Steamer Boy when DRS gets enabled, as he is on the faster tyres for the moment. But in about 4 laps time, that is going to change, and the medium runners will be exposed to the hard runners. The only exception to this is Joe Curry up the front, and Ronan has gotten past. But hold on a second here. Lex Hod arriving closely on the scene here. Lex is doing some very aggressive dive bombs in this race so far. And further behind we see Junaid and Enduro fighting. His 5th year Milos are fighting as well for P13.
Side by side. 5th year around the outside. Can he get the move done? Yes, he can. He can. Great move.
Further up the field, Chris Pat has gotten past Joel Curry for P2. And Luke Goetze up to P10.
I'm seeing 2 completely different stories between Alpine in F4 and Alpine in F3.
Wow.
Because Alpine are struggling in F4, and in F3, Alpine are top by like 12 points to Mercedes, which is my own team.
Yourself and Mr. Zafraniak, who was giving lessons on how to say his name on stream, which we all heard.
Yep.
I don't think anyone actually was able to say it in the end.
Lex has got past Joel Harris, who's got no ERS left. And through goes T-Rex.
And the T-Rex up to P3. He's gotten the move done by the looks of it. And now both Williams drivers outside the top 3. Interestingly enough now, Joel is dropping in even further
Down to P8 now. Does he have front wing damage by any chance?
He must do, as DRS has been enabled, and we're going to see the AlphaTauri and the Haas go side by side into turn 1.
As Lex goes wide, nearly cuts across his teammate. As Toby finally gets past Junaid.
But coming back up to the front here,
and
the drag race into turn 5, as you said, Sparrow T-Rex has gotten past the postman. Now, Ronan.
Got some very close racing between P8 and P10. As Lugots goes down the inside of Joel Harris and makes contact with Junaid, but nobody has spun round. As Callum Ogden is down to 21 seconds behind Rosilva, as I think he might have pitted. Postman Pat has lost DRS range, has he? No, he hasn't. He's got DRS, 2 T-Rex. As the 2 McLarens switch places, and here comes Toby.
As we're riding aboard with Toby Fennell with this view of the whole incident about to happen here. Toby's going to get past 1. Can he get past 2? It does not look like he's just going to run out of track.
Goes deep.
Goes deep indeed, and the McLaren is coming in. There's almost a bit of there is contact. Lex, what have you done there?
I'm torn. I don't know who caused that incident.
I think Lex had a snap of oversteer, and that's going to lead to both drivers going into the pits. Matthew up to P9. Further up the field, as Toby's actually retired from the session.
Joel's out.
Joel's out.
Rongson's involved in it as well.
As Lugots got a 5-second penalty for that as well. That's a severe collision. Has Matthew escaped without any damage? That is the question. It looks like he has. Potentially at the left end plate. No, he's okay.
That's good.
And that's going to bring out the VSC here as we have lost another driver. So anyone who finishes this race now at this point will be getting points. This is chaotic.
Oof. It's reminding me of Canada F3.
Bringing back shades of the years past in places like Monza and Brazil. This is real chaotic. We also have, so let's just get this straight. Let's have a look at the calendar. Well, we have another pause to the racing. Oh no, yeah, we're still pausing. We have a mystery race to come next week. Then Austria, which usually brings a bit more chaos, which will be a sprint weekend. Then Monaco, then Singapore, then Brazil. Then the final mystery track. And then we end with Abu Dhabi.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
So I think we are getting underway very shortly, as we are now underway.
Junaid gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. Schoolboy error, as Mr. Jack Bailey would say. Lugots rapidly closing in on Junaid here, and they're going to go side by side. Oh, lots of Gotts has gone to the pits. No, Junaid's gone to the pits, sorry. And he gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane as well.
I'll probably just retire at this point if I was Junaid.
He's guaranteed points, that's the thing.
Yeah, true. He's probably going to come out close to Rosilva. Not really, he's 2 seconds behind, but who cares? Postman Pat is very close to T-Rex as Lex gets past Callum.
Yeah, and Ronan now wanting to hunt down Apple while those tyres have any life left in them for the remaining 6 laps to go in this race. If Ronan wants to win the race, he has to start gaining rapidly now, as those mediums are going to be very, very slow in the next 2 laps time. Chris Pat closing in onto the back of Ronan. Doesn't have DRS. No, yeah, he has it now. And Ronan's going to be quite exposed here. And I'd expect Chris to make the move, actually, on this 2 kilometer straight. He just sails by. DRS is overpowered here.
Yeah, you definitely need to shorten the amount of DRS you get on that straight.
But even still, like, the slipstream is just so powerful as well on this track.
Yeah.
And now it's Ronan's turn to play cat in this game, cat and mouse.
Because T-Rex is very close to Postman Pat. And Enduro's in the pits. Interesting. But he's definitely going to go onto the softs if he has any left.
Well, he has to, yeah.
So there comes T-Rex, fakes a dive bomb. I think Enduro's serving a drive-through.
Interesting enough for him, as Bios hits the fastest lap of the race with a 1:34.199. Apo Topo 2 seconds clear of his teammate, with Ronan Clark being overtaken by Chris Pat previously. Not a whole lot else happening.
We could maybe see a move for P2 though.
As Ronan is
On the
closing
inside
in.
goes T-Rex, using ERS just to confirm it. He's up into P2. Lex makes a move on Resilver down into turn 12.
And now the gap is less than 2 seconds between Ronan and Apo. I think the two drivers in P2 and P3 are helping each other along, to be honest. As long as they don't actually fight into the corners, yeah? They're going to be gaining on Apo as a result of this. They're just going to be slinging each other along. Saying that, we are going to go side by side into turn 3 and 4. And Chris Pat's going to get a lightning exit here by the looks of it.
Yeah,
he's already gained. Oh, he doesn't even have to try. He's not even using ERS here. Sails by. Ronan doesn't fight it. Again, the two drivers are kind of unintentionally helping each other as a sling past. As Ronan has a big wobble there, makes contact with the wall on the exit of 5. Looks to keep the car in okay condition. You can't tell if he's getting wing damage just yet. Doesn't look like it.
As Junaid is into the pits for a fresh set of softs and removing that 5 second.
Junaid's just going to try and sit fastest lap here, isn't he? And get an extra point.
Yeah, definitely. This JP has done 16 laps on these hard compounds. And he's still within DRS range of T-Rex. How he does this, we do not know. There's yellow flags in Sector 1. It's Lex, who...
It looks like he lost the car.
Yeah, probably just made a mistake.
Now Apo over 2 seconds clear, and the fighting that we thought was going to help the two drivers has actually hindered them. Chris Pat and Ronan Clark. Looks like Apo's going to win this race quite comfortably here. Well done to you, as long as nothing silly happens between now and the next three laps. However, is Joe Corey going to arrive on the scene here in this fight with his 17-lap-old hards? That is the question. It doesn't look like
if he does, and he gets a podium, then congrats to him.
That's an amazing drive if he does, yeah.
He would have done over 20 laps on these tarts. As Postman Pat nearly sends it into the rear of T-Rex. Bios gets past Rosilva through turn 2. And now Bios could maybe make a move on Callum Ogden, as I'm getting a huge amount of lag spikes, and he makes the move done. As G-Sun Berger leaves the session, I should say.
And
what's happened to Postman Pat? He's lost DRS.
I think he had a little bit of a wobble there, and now Joe Corey is rapidly closing in, and Postman Pat's going to be exposed here. Flashing red lights in the back of Joel's car, which means he's no ERS left, and Chris doesn't have any left either. Chris Pat trying to keep this position here, fighting along, good defensive line from him. Joe Corey still has to play behind. He's still got a few laps to get this move done, but a chance for a podium is really on.
It is indeed.
Into lap 23 we go.
We have 3 laps to go. Going on to the next DRS straight as Callum Ogden gets past Lex and is dropping his Lex away. As I'm so Jesus Christ, I'm struggling right now.
You're just tired, are you, mate?
Yep. 2 hours of commentary has taken its toll.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy racing and then doing comms either, but
Yeah.
Jack and myself make it work most Friday nights. I suppose
Yeah.
saying that I don't normally bin the car on lap 1, do I?
Yeah. You usually get to the end of the race and get a podium.
This will be my last season on controller though.
Nice.
Because I have a wheel and a chair at the moment, but I'm just too slow. Like I'm spinning all over the place the whole time.
Yeah, that's the exact same with me.
Yeah, you're on wheel at the moment.
I've had a sim rig for a year, and I just don't use it. And here comes JP.
Yeah.
Up to
P3. Amazing stuff.
Oof.
Well, like from what I've been reading, it takes a while. It takes a few months. Oh, it's a big wobble there from Joel as we're talking. Oh, and there's more contact, and Joel has lost his front wing as Chris Pat is just taking him out there. We've just caught that on stream, and that's a disastrous end of the race for Joel. He's managed to keep the car, but Chris Pat is just taking him straight out. A lot to be said there for that questionable driving there from the Haas driver.
That's probably going to be the final result.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I'm assuming Chris Pat's going to get a major. He's going to have to at this point, Because if he pits now, he's going to drop all the way to P9, I'd say.
Yeah. And here comes Wrongson. Getting the move done. Up into P5.
Oh my God, Matthew in contention here.
How much penalties does Lou got? So 5. Oh, Matthew could be on for a potential P4 if he gains 1.3 seconds in the next 2 laps.
Oh my God! And he's going to be against his old nemesis Lou Gotza.
Yep. Because Junaid is in the pits again for a new set of softs. And here comes JP with no front wing, getting the move done.
On Wrongson, up to P5 after that incident with Chris Pat. If I was stewarding this tier, I am stewarding this tier. I was gonna say, if I was stewarding this tier, I'd probably consider giving Chris Pat an actual a placement penalty, more so than a time penalty, just because of the large delta.
But you are stewarding this tier.
But I am stewarding this tier. Well, we'll have to see what the footage looks like from the onboards. Well, interestingly enough here.
As we're on the final lap of the race now.
Matthew.
He's probably going to win the race. As JP goes into the wall. And Enduro couldn't... No, Enduro's not going to get P6. It's time penalties.
Yeah.
But either way, Apo Sulfo, I think that's how you pronounce it either way, Mr. Bean, he's going into the final braking zone now, as Enduro is quite close to the rear as he's got into the wall. He goes around the final few corners, he's swerving on the straight, celebrating.
This is your moment.
Mr. Bean wins the Las Vegas Grand Prix, followed by T-Rex.
As we see carbon fiber flying in place.
Followed by Lugos and Wrongson. JP, with 21 lap old hards, makes it to the end in P6.
Great stuff.
Followed by Enduro, Vifcio, Aspect, Lex, Rossilver, and Junaid, who is pushing for the fastest lap of the race. Can he get it?
Well, he's 2/10. Well, no, now he's slightly up in his best time.
Slightly down this time.
Yeah. As Matthew is celebrating like crazy for his P5 result. With Junaid burning every single bit of battery he has left, all the air is going as he's going to race to the line. Is he going to get fast lap? It doesn't look like it.
So it's the end of F4.
Yeah.
Wrongson has 3 reports to fill.
At least.
At least. Bluminek, nearly everyone gained a position. Probably because the retirement of G-Somber. But either way,
we will see a 1-2 Haas at the moment. Oh, one Haas double podium, but like.
I don't think that's going to finish like that.
Yeah, as Joe Page is saying that he was swiped into the wall. Anyway, provisional standings are Apple Topo and Ronan Clark P1 and P2. I don't think that will change. Chris Patent P3. That's going to potentially change with after race penalties being applied. Lewis Merrinan on his first race back for ERO up to P4. Great stuff from you after a disastrous qualifying session where he did not set a time. Matthew Wrongson into P5. Joel Clark into P6. Enduro Zintos P7. Fifcio, Callum Ogden and Bios round out our top 10. Milos and Junaid round out our finishers with the other Joel Harris, Toby Fennell, Harry Brown, Giesen Bear, Alex Theodore, the suspicious angry Danish driver, Jammies and Vista rounding out the rest of the field that did not finish. That is us today in F4 and in F5. Thank you for watching. And F3 is tomorrow at 7 p.m.